Good morning. Today we're going to look at solving multi-step equations and equations with the distributive property. Our essential question for today is, how can we simplify equations using the number properties before looking for a solution? So we want to rewrite the equation 8x minus 6x minus 25 equals negative 35. So now I'm going to look at these steps today. We're adding to it because our problems are getting a little bit more complicated. So before I start, I need to ask myself, are there any operations I can perform? So I look at the question and see, are there any parentheses? No. Are there exponents? No. Is there any multiplication or division that I need to apply? No. Addition or subtraction? When we look at addition and subtraction, remember, addition and subtraction involves combining like terms. So because I have like terms, 6x and 8x, I want to start by combining these values. 8x and 6x is 14x. I bring down my minus 25 equals negative 35. So again, I go back to my steps, my questions, right? I want to ask, do I have any parentheses? Yep, nope, still no parentheses. Exponents? No, I see no exponents. Multiplication? There's no multiplication. There's nothing that I can multiply in order to simplify. And now, addition and subtraction. Is there anything that I can combine or take away to make the problem simpler? If the answer is no, then now I'm at the point where I want to solve for the variable. And that's where we look at undo addition or subtraction or undo multiplication or division. So we start, is there addition and subtraction? Yes. We have minus 25. So the property of equality says, first, I need to apply the inverse or opposite operation. Minus becomes addition. So I add 25. If I'm adding 25, the purpose of this and applying the inverse is to get the result of 0. But I have to add 25 to both sides. The example I gave you guys was with the scale. Remember, what I do to one side of the scale, in order for it to remain balanced, I have to do to the other side. 25 minus 25 becomes 0. Negative 35, positive 25. Because 35 is bigger than 25 and it's negative, I know that my answer has to be negative as well. So I have negative 35 plus 25 will give me 10. And I realize I made a mistake. Here, I don't have a 14x. I have a positive 8 and a negative 6, which actually results in a positive 2x. So I bring down my 2x. And this just goes to show you, everybody makes mistakes. As long as we catch them and can learn from them, that's the issue. Pay attention. That's a note to Mr. Clayton. So 2x equals negative 10. So I've already done or undone my addition or subtraction. I want to look to undo multiplication or division. So what's happening to the variable is it's being multiplied by 2. So in order to get rid of multiplication, I have to divide. If I'm dividing on one side, I have to divide on the other. 2 over 2, the inverse of multiplication is division, and the result of the inverse operation of division or multiplication should result in 1. So I have 1x x. Negative 10 divided by 2 is negative 5. Remember, a negative divided by a positive is negative. In math, we don't write 1 in front of the variable. We simply write the variable by itself. So x is equal to negative 5. So we go back. Remember, we always want to go back and check. So I take 8 and I substitute 5 for x. I take 6 and I substitute 5 for x. Minus 25. Will that equal negative 35? So 5 times 8 is 40. 6 times 5 is 30. 40 minus 30 is 10. Again, attention to detail. 8 times negative 5 is negative 40. Negative 6 times negative 5 is positive 30 minus 25. Again, we want to see, is that going to equal negative 35? Negative 40 plus 30 . Negative 40 plus 30 gives me negative 10 minus 25. Negative and a negative, we add, it becomes more negative. Negative 35 equals negative 35. So x minus 5 is my solution. So again, we're looking at solving an equation. In this equation, we're looking at applying the distributive property. So again, I go through my steps. Are there operations I can perform? We have to also remember that some operations are masked behind other names. In this problem, the distributive property is multiplication. We see parentheses, but if we look, there's nothing inside this parentheses that I can simplify. So, no, there are no exponents, but there is multiplication. So because there's multiplication, I want to start by distributing. I'm going to rewrite my equation. 2. 1 minus 5x plus 4 equals negative 8. When I distribute, remember that my value outside touches everything inside. 2 times 1 is 2. Negative 5x times 2 is negative 10x. I now bring down everything else. Plus 4 minus 8. Negative 8. So I've knocked out my multiplication or division. Now I want to look at addition or subtraction. And again, I'm asking myself, are there like terms? In this problem, positive 2, positive 4 are like terms. When I combine my like terms, I end up with 6. I like to do problems where I leave my term with the variable in front. So negative 10x plus 6 equals negative 8. Now, look back over it. Are there parentheses? And I'll rewrite this so it's a little bit neater. Plus 6 equals negative 8. Are there any parentheses? No. Are there any exponents? No. Is there multiplication or division left? No. Addition or subtraction or like terms? No. Because there are no like terms, now I want to solve for the variable. I undo addition or subtraction first. Here, I have plus 6. So I want to subtract 6 from both sides. When I subtract 6 from both sides, because of the additive inverse property, this becomes 0. I bring down my negative 10x. 8 and 6 are both negative. 8 plus 6 is 14. Now I want to divide both sides by negative 10. When I divide both sides by negative 10 over negative 10 is 1. So I'm left with x. Negative over negative becomes positive. 14 divided by 10 simplifies 7 over 5. Notice I did not convert a fraction to a decimal. All I need to do is simplify my value. So now I go back to the original equation and I want to check. Here I have 2, 1 minus 5 times 7 over 5, which was my x, plus 4 equals negative 8. Here, inside my grouping symbol, order of operations, I want to simplify what's in the parentheses first. So I have 5 times 7 over 5. When I multiply that value together, I end up with 7. Bring down everything else. One minus 7 is negative 6. Bring down everything else. Negative 6 times 2 is negative 12. Plus 4 equals negative 8. Negative 12. And I go right 4 units. I end up with negative 8 equals negative 8. Again, for those that struggle with understanding how that works, think about the number line. If you're at negative 12 and you go right 4 units, 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 12, negative 11, negative 10, negative 9, negative 8. Right 4 units. This says right. Number of units. 1, 2, 3, 4. Negative 8. So because negative 8 is equal to negative 8, I know that x is equal to 7 over 5 is the correct solution.